What is up, everybody? Welcome to another year-end series awards show for 2023. This year, we have a new one. Best Indie Game of All Time. That's right. So, I'm a big fan of indie games, and, everybody's having this discussion now with Jeff Keighley about, is indie game a style as opposed to a budget? If you've been following the news recently, and we've talked about this over on Spotify, I was live on air with a couple developers, and it got into a really big discussion. It was about Dave the Diver. Dave the Diver, you can see its stripes, but you know it's clean. I'm an absolute fan of Dave the Diver, and I think Dave the Diver is fantastic. But it's in the category for Indie of the Year. And meanwhile, back at the ranch, it's got a huge backing behind it. So it's not technically an indie game. It's indie style, right? We think of these games like 2D, 16-bit, 8-bit. We think of that as low-budget indie. But when they talk about indie, they go by the backing of the game. Another discussion for another time, right? I can kind of see both sides. We are going to have Indie Game of the Year on here as well, coming up. And that'll be interesting, right? Let's do this. Let's not do it in order, but let's just do a top 5, right? Best indie game of all time. Those are some serious words right there. Stardew Valley. One cannot deny the impact of Stardew Valley. As a matter of fact, I got to do the old switcheroo. Stardew Valley is on my timeline at least once a day from a different player. It's got a huge player base on multiple platforms. People spend hours and hours. I think of it like a combination of a farming sim and Animal Crossing and Minecraft. And I mean, it's hard to explain, really. You're building stuff, you're planting stuff, you're farming, you're interacting, you're talking to people, you're buying stuff for your farm, and, you're traveling to town, you're getting to know new people. It's an amazing world, and it's an amazing adventure, and it's definitely one of the best indie games to ever come out, without a doubt. Dead Cells. Remember Papa Roach? Dead Cells. Dead Cells. Dead Cells, an amazing game. An amazing roguelike game. I know people that are diehards. They just had the Castlevania collaboration. And it's a beautiful game. And it's just, it seems like it's a kind of game where you could keep playing it, and it gets better and better. And I think it's definitely one of the best indie games ever to come out. To this day, according to some people, it is still unmatched. And that's apparent, too, by it still getting physical copies, by it still getting a huge fan base, and still getting content. Hollow Knight. What is it now? The new one, Silk Song. Hollow Knight is a beloved franchise. And that's another one that just keeps seeming to get popular and popular, especially with the new one coming out. People are waiting patiently for Hollow Knight. Beautiful game. I've played it both on Steam and Switch. And it's a great game. Could definitely understand why it gets so much love. Shovel Knight. Out of this list, I'd have to say, me personally, that's my number one. That's my favorite. I'm a big Shovel Knight fan. I bought multiple copies of it on multiple platforms, different versions. Treasure Trove, Spectre Knight. multiple playthroughs, you know. Shovel Knight is bang for your buck. Shovel Knight is great, great, great content. And I mean, it really blew up. Yacht Club Games, they're just amazing, and they really deserve the success that they got. And now I hear people like people compare hard games. They call it Souls like. Now I hear people say Shovel Knight like oh, it's like a Shovel Knight game. It's like its own genre. And you know, well deserved. Shovel Knight is just a fantastic game. And last but not least, Cuphead. Cuphead is just as much talked about today. I think the art direction, the old school cartoons is just unbelievable. It's like watching a movie or watching a cartoon. It's like you're interacting with an old school cartoon from back in the day. Beautifully directed, beautifully done, beautifully, made. It's, Cuphead is definitely one that goes in the history books. I don't think there'll ever be another one like it. It had DLC, but it was really an experience. And visually, I don't think anything matched it. I think it had that charm. Mugman, Cuphead, I think it had, the music, the soundtrack, the voices, that old school, Felix the Cat kind of, that old retro, cartoons that you see from back in the day, like old hand sketched. And I show people that aren't even into games, that are into art and animation, and I show them that game, and they are just like, they want to get their hands on it. It's a hard game, but it's hard, but it's fair, But as far as difficulty, it's definitely up there with like the Mega Mans and all them. It's excellent. It's an excellent game and definitely worthy of this list. Guys, what's your top 5 indies of all time? Okay? Indie of the Year coming up very soon. I can't wait for you to join me on that. More year-end specials, more Christmas specials. Take care. Hope to see you soon.